On day 1, I spawned in a Skibidi Toilet during an all-out war. There was a massive battle unfolding between toilets and the cameramen. I joined my allies in battle and we fought for our lives. There was just one problem. How do I win? I'm just a toilet! I stormed through the battlefield as my friends were being flushed left and right by the cameramen's forces. They retaliated with attacks of their own, singing a song that empowered our forces. Lasers and gunfire flew wildly around me as the Skibidi Toilet army rejoiced. I tried to run away, but suddenly a giant Titan cameraman landed in front of me. Ah! He readied his laser, preparing to eliminate every toilet in his path until a giant Skibidi Toilet intercepted the attack. Are you okay?
I don't have much time, Max. Follow your destiny and become the strongest Skibidi Toilet.
I looked up and saw the Titan cameraman charging another attack. They obliterated the larger toilet with one final blow. All of the cameramen looked towards me and I ran for my life. On day 2, I was being pursued by the cameraman forces. I tried to shake them off my tail, but every corner I turned they seemed to be waiting. I made one wrong move and found myself cornered. I'm trapped! Suddenly, a mysterious melody played in my head. I finally realized the power that was in me all along. I took a deep breath and unleashed my power.
Skibidi bop bop yep yep yep, skibidi bop bop yep yep.
The power of the music gave me strength and I jumped into battle with the cameraman goons. I used the strength of the Skibidi melody to smash my head into each of the goons one by one. They outnumbered me, but the war was only just beginning. I had to hang on for the battles to come. As their forces pummeled into me with their fists, I held strong and continued fighting with all of my might. I didn't think I could hold up much longer, but I sang until my lungs hurt. With the power of the Skibidi song, I managed to take out the lesser cameraman. But it wasn't long before a stronger reinforcement arrived. The large cameraman in a tank fired rockets at me and I fled for my life. I ran and took cover in a nearby building, but to my horror, I was met with even more goons. I had walked right into a cameraman base. On day 3, alarms blared throughout the cameraman base and I searched for a place to take cover. As a Skibidi Toilet, I stood out like crazy, but I had an idea. I found a restroom and camouflaged myself with the other toilets. Okay, Max, stay still. I heard the footsteps of one of the cameramen entering the room. They entered my stall, but I stayed completely still, not wanting to give away my position. They didn't seem to notice me, but as they came closer to me, I came to a horrible realization. Nope! I popped my head out and belted the Skibidi Toilet song. Thanks to my power, the cameraman went down. Unfortunately for me, my song attracted the attention of more men.
There's the Skibidi Toilet! Eliminate him!
They attacked and I was forced to flee. I was running out of places to run when I spotted a nearby vent. I gotta try! I slid into the vent as the army of cameramen tried to nab me, escaping them by a hair. As I traversed through the vent, I ran into a miniature cameraman standing in front of me. Oh no! I have nowhere to run! On days 4 through 7, I was trapped in a vent with a cameraman.
Please don't hurt me. I'll do whatever you want.
Huh? You're not an enemy? Huh. In that case, how about you become my ally?
Sure, my name is Cammy.
I asked Cammy how to get out of here, but he told me it was a difficult task. Not only was the Titan cameraman hunting me, but all of the cameramen shared the same video feed.
If you're spotted by one, then all of them might be able to see you.
Wait, but aren't you a camera—
Hey, who's in there?
Just then, a cameraman spotted us, revealing our whereabouts to the Titan cameraman.
Get them.
Follow me. I know a shortcut.
I followed Cammy through the vents of the facility until finally we managed to come out the other side. Unfortunately for us, there was another guard waiting.
Suspect spotted.
Cammy and I ran until there was a distance between us and the facility. I knew that the cameraman could attack at any moment, so I decided to get to work on a base. I used blocks of iron to get to work on building a giant toilet. I wanted to strike fear into the hearts of anyone who dared to approach it. I bet I'll get as big as this one day. Once I finished the main structure, I got to work on building an underground labyrinth of pipes. Within the plumbing system, we built a room for me as well as Cammy to call our own. As I was wrapping up the build, I spotted the Titan cameraman walking in the distance. I quickly took cover as he scanned the area for me and Cammy. Luckily, my base did just the trick and he flew away. If I'm gonna survive this war, I'm gonna need some better weapons.
There's a secret camera facility just north of here full of weaponry, but it's crazy dangerous.
I have to give it a shot. On days 8 through 10, I arrived at the weapons base to find it crawling with cameramen. I knew I couldn't get caught, otherwise it was definitely game over for me. I stealthed through the facility when suddenly someone came walking in my direction. I quickly took cover, narrowly avoiding their sights. They're around every corner! I entered a room and discovered that I was in a testing facility. Skibidi toilets were trapped in cages and the cameramen were testing different weapons on them. This is horrible!
Who said that?
One of the guards inside had spotted me.
Guards, get that toilet!
Guards began to flood the room, and I was completely defenseless. I looked around desperately, and to my surprise, spotted a plunger on the ground. I rushed to it and snatched it before anyone else could. Have a taste of this! I used the plunger as my sword and swiped down cameraman after cameraman. Turns out this weapon wasn't only effective on Skibidi Toilets. The cameramen fired back with their guns, dealing loads of damage from each bullet that managed to hit. Even though I was only armed with a plunger, I had to fight with all of my might. I ran in before they could react and snuck in hit after hit with my plunger sword. It was 3 against 1 and things were looking close. With the power of my Skibidi Toilet song and plunger combined, I stood a chance until more cameramen showed up. I continued to fight with all of my might, but there were too many guards. I got hit with a heavy blow, leaving me with only half a heart. Is this the end? On days 11 through 14, the cameramen surrounded me, ready to deal the final blow, until an army of Skibidi Toilets flooded in from above. Backup had arrived right on time. Skibidi Toilets and cameramen collided in a fiery battle. The helicopter toilets swarmed the cameramen from above, tearing into them with their helicopter blades. All the while, the cameramen tried to retaliate with gunfire. It looked like it could be one-sided, but the power of the Skibidi Toilet song was stronger than they had anticipated. The Skibidi Toilets kept up a good fight, keeping the cameramen on their toes every step of the battle. While their forces were distracted, I moved deeper into the facility in search of anything to help take out the cameramen goons. Just then, I stumbled upon a strange room. At the center was a red gem. What's that? Before I could get a closer look, the Titan cameraman bursted through the wall.
How'd you?
The Titan cameraman prepared to fire his laser onto me. I couldn't let myself get killed, so I quickly went for the mysterious gem. When I grabbed it, a strange sensation came over me. My porcelain body grew larger, and I gained 5 additional hearts. I had transformed into a stronger Skibidi Toilet.
You may have gotten stronger, but your end is now.
I ran out into an open area outside the facility and the Titan followed close behind. I was surely doomed with the Titan readying his weapons, until suddenly lasers shot out of my eyes. This new power was just what I needed to buy more time. I fought off the Titan as I waited for help to arrive, but he was incredibly powerful. He shot lasers from his chest that dealt massive damage and set the grass around me ablaze. The longer the battle raged on, the more the field was consumed by flames. Luckily, I had water close by, which I used anytime I was set on fire. All the while, I shot back at the Titan with my laser eyes. Although they were powerful, they weren't enough to pierce through his riot shield. I felt like they did almost nothing to him. I wasn't gonna hold out much longer, but the song of my people filled the area as more toilets ran to my side. Reinforcements are here!
Max, report to me at once.
I spotted my commander calling out for me. I quickly rushed to his side while my allies tried to keep the Titan at bay. On days 15 through 17, I spoke with the Commander Toilet as my allies fought valiantly to hold off our enemy. He told me that the cameramen had been capturing our brethren and using them as test subjects for weapons.
If you can save them, you can find more upgrades to become an even stronger Skibidi Toilet. Who knows what they're doing to our boys over there?
I'll do everything I can to help. Just then, one of our allies ran next to me.
Titan is too powerful. We can't win.
The Titan's powerful laser vaporized him right before our very eyes.
Retreat!
We can't leave without saving everyone! I ignored the commander's orders and rushed back into the building. Countless toilets had fallen to the Titan's might, but I wasn't gonna let my friends die. I activated my laser eyes and quickly melted through all of the cages. Let's get out of here, guys! The Titan cameraman locked his sights on me and we all fled the facility. On days 18 through 21, I fled the facility with my Skibidi brethren as the Titan cameraman followed close behind. Luckily, I knew just the place to take cover. We hurried back to my base and hid inside. The Titan cameraman scanned the area, but he had lost his sights on us.
You're never safe. I will personally find and dismantle every last one of you.
The Titan flew away on his jetpack and all of us came out from hiding. The Commander Toilet was furious for my reckless actions, but thanked me for saving our people. Just then, Cammy ran out to greet me.
Max, I'm so glad you're okay.
A cameraman! Everyone, eliminate the threat!
The commander mistook Cammy as an enemy and began to fire his weapons at him. The little guy wasn't strong enough to defend himself, so I quickly broke the two up. He's on our side, don't worry.
No camera is an ally of us. He's giving away our location.
Cammy would never do that! Suddenly, a horde of cameramen ambushed us. They had somehow found our location. The cameramen all ran into the fray, taking on both me and the other toilets. They were armed with nothing but their fists, but we weren't ready for the surprise attack. I tried to fight them off, with my powers as well as my Skibidi song. But there were too many. How did you find us?
That little camera traitor is still hooked up to our video feeds. We know your every move.
I fought and pleaded for help, but the commander gathered our forces and fled to save his own hide.
This is what happens when you trust a camera.
I couldn't defeat their crushing numbers. Everything went black. On days 22 through 25, I woke up inside of a testing room. All around me were different terrifying weapons made by the camera forces. I can't believe the commander was right. One of the cameraman scientists entered the room with some sort of gadget in hand.
This weapon is going to be promising. Goodbye, toilet.
I braced myself for the worst as the scientist aimed his weapon onto me. But just as I thought it was over, Cammy jumped out of nowhere.
Leave him alone!
He punched into the scientist and knocked him down momentarily. While the villain was immobile, Cammy broke me free of my constraints.
I'm sorry, Max. I forgot that I was still on the main feed.
I need backup. Quick!
We couldn't stick around here anymore. I blasted the scientist with my laser eye powers and the two of us took off running. On days 26 through 28, Cammy and I ran through the facility in search of an escape route. But around every corner were cameraman forces waiting. Cammy's video feed was giving our location away. We need to get you off that feed.
I have an idea. Follow me.
I followed Cammy into a control room where computers were lined up all along the walls. The cameramen were following close behind, so we had to act fast. I tried to hack into the system, but I didn't know what I was doing. We were running out of time. I have to try something else. Suddenly, I had a great idea. I focused on the power of the music and sang out the Skibidi Toilet song. The computers began to malfunction and bursted into flames.
That should do it. My feed is no longer connected.
The cameramen caught up to us, but they were too late. Our mission was a success. I readied myself for battle and fought off the swarm. The cameramen fired their guns into us and I retaliated with my laser eyes. It was me versus an entire army, and while I was strong, their weapons dealt a lot of damage. I tried to evade their attacks while retaliating with ones of my own. We were neck and neck, but the cameramen were still too strong for me. Suddenly, Cammy began to fire off electricity onto the cameramen, short-circuiting their systems. Freeing you from their video feed must have given you powers.
Go, reinforcements!
The room started shaking with booming footsteps, and a Titan Speakerman started to approach us. What's that? I couldn't fight back. The speaker readied his arm cannon and fired at us, sending us flying through the wall and into the sky. On days 29 through 32, I was high in the sky, plummeting towards my doom. It looked like this was the end, but then I realized I'm a toilet. I used my toilet water to get a bucket of water and clutched before I could hit the ground. Cammy and I were separated. I hope he's okay. I looked around my surroundings and realized I was in a different testing site. There, more Skibidi toilets were trapped in cages, and the next upgrade was waiting at the center surrounded by lava. How am I gonna get to that thing? I thought about my next move until the area was suddenly swarmed with speakerman enemies. Wait, am I fighting speakers and cameras now? The horde rushed at me and I began to fight them off with my powerful song. The speakers were quick on their feet and used loud sonic boom attacks that made my ears ring. They carried large rifles and surrounded me, piercing my toilet body with deadly artillery. I fought back with my laser powers, but the speakerman brushed it off and continued firing and blasting huge sound waves in my direction. The onslaught was tough, but I couldn't give up now. My ears rang from the sound of their subwoofers, causing severe damage to my health. Despite my efforts, the speakermen were unlike anything I had ever faced before. They were much stronger than the cameramen. I was left with only half a heart. I had to do something. Otherwise, this was the end of the line. I have to get rid of this lava. Wait a sec. I used my toilet water once again to turn the lava into obsidian and successfully grabbed the upgrade. Just then, my body grew even more powerful. I gained 5 more hearts and a brand new flush ability. Sweet! I jumped back into the fray and tested out my new flush power. I was about to turn myself into a powerful tornado that sent the speakermen flying away. They smashed into the walls, taking massive damage. Although they tried to pierce my ears with their sonic boom powers, I kept up my attacks. The power of my flush ability combined with my Skibidi Toilet song and lasers would prove to be too strong. Soon, one after the other fell to my might. Take that! As the dust settled, I heard the sound of heavy footsteps behind me. I turned around and discovered a large speakerman had entered the area.
You may have defeated my men, but that little flush power isn't enough to stop me.
The large speakerman attacked, and I prepared for battle. On days 33 through 35, the large speakerman and I were fighting it out. I tried to get in close with my plunger, but he kept blasting me back with sonic booms. The shrieking sounds dealt heavy damage, but I retaliated with deadly attacks of my own. I continued to shoot devastating lasers from my eyes, catching my foe on fire. He resisted as I continued my flurry of attacks. I used my new Tornado Flush ability to lift the large speakerman off his feet, but it was no use. The speaker-headed man continued to use his powerful sound waves to injure me even further. Barely surviving my last fight, I didn't think I could last much longer. I was fighting a losing battle, but I couldn't leave my allies to die. Suddenly, Cammy ran out of nowhere.
I'll free everyone. Just buy me some time.
Cammy ran from cage to cage, freeing each toilet one by one. All the while, I was holding off the large speakerman with everything I had. I wasn't gonna last much longer, but luckily Cammy managed to free everyone. The toilets are free! It's time to fight back! All of my Skibidi Toilet allies rushed to my side and helped me fight off the large speakerman. The toilet started in and immediately went for the speakerman's legs, smacking him off balance with their powerful combined force. I continued shooting my lasers from a distance while I healed, while Cammy electrified the speakerman from afar. Our teamwork was paying off, and it was clear the speakerman was getting overwhelmed by our numbers, but only barely. My allies took some heavy hits, and the cracks in their porcelain started to show, but they never backed down. Eventually, we were able to throw the speakerman completely off balance and push him backwards, shoving him into the molten lava. The battle was fierce, but together, we managed to defeat the powerful foe. It took a whole army to take out one of those guys. Suddenly, more large speakermen entered the area ready to take us on. I knew even as an army, we didn't stand a chance. There were too many. Run! On days 36 through 39, I returned to the base with my saved allies. Luckily, we managed to get the speakers off of our tail.
Thank you for saving us. Cammy seems cool too. Mind if we join your cause?
Sure, the more the merrier. I decided to take a moment to work on my base a bit more. I started by adding a living quarters for all of my new Skibidi Toilet allies. I made sure that they had comfy beds and a jukebox that they could listen to the Skibidi song with. Afterwards, I built a garden so that I had plenty of food to feed all of my new residents. As I finished up my expansion, I heard a familiar voice.
Help!
I looked in the distance and saw the Titan Speakerman and his army of spider speakers chasing the Commander Toilet. Everyone, defend the Commander! We all got into our battle stations and prepared to take on the enemy. My allies and I rushed through the tree line and took the speaker spiders head on. Our enemies were tough, but our willpower was strong, even in the face of the looming Titan Speakerman. The Commander Toilet did his best to run crowd control with his rockets as I used my laser eyes to wipe out more and more of the spiders. The Titan shot down at us from above, and my brothers did their best to put their heads together and see this battle through to the end. The spiders were scuttled across the burning battlefield and began to unleash their supersonic abilities. The tide was turning, and unfortunately, not in our favor. Despite our efforts, one after the other toilet fell to the might of the speakers. At this rate, the battle would soon be over.
Max, I'll take care of things here. You must find the spider toilet leader. He's our last hope.
I didn't want to leave everyone, but I knew someone had to get help. I agreed and set off in search of the spider Skibidi Toilets. On days 40 through 43, I was searching for the spider Skibidi Toilets. I felt like I had looked everywhere until I arrived at a frozen ship. Could they be here? Just then, a massive spider speaker jumped out of nowhere. I had been followed. I set my sights on the foe and fought them off with my Skibidi song. The giant spider speaker roared violently, and with every bellow, a sonic blast came from his face. Its spindly legs were super creepy, but I wasn't about to let the ick factor keep me from my goal. I had places to be, and this behemoth was in my way. I used my flush ability to send my foe flying through the icy arena, and to my surprise, it battered against the Arctic walls, dealing massive damage. I was able to take them down, but smaller ones kept coming. I was getting overwhelmed. Just then, a swarm of Skibidi spiders all crawled to my aid. One by one, my new allies took my creepy foes down. It wasn't long before all the speakers were destroyed. Thank you for your help. Could I speak to your leader?
Any Skibidi Toilet is an ally of ours.
The spider took me to their leader located in the massive shipwreck. There, I explained the attack on my base and how I needed help taking down a Titan.
We have been working on a powerful ability that could defeat a Titan, but you must be trained in order to wield it.
I'm willing to do anything.
Very well. Your training begins now.
On days 44 through 46, I began my training with the Spider Toilet Leader. My first test was to improve my climbing skills to match that of a spider. I scaled up a snowy wall to reach the top of a massive mountain peak. With nothing but my teeth to hold my weight, it was challenging, but I managed to complete it. Next, I improved my balance skills by standing on a thin beam across the crevice for multiple days. I nearly fell a few times, but ended up completing the task. Finally, the Spider Leader showed me how to operate new tech and even craft some of my own. I was now more versed in using firearms.
Excellent work, Max. I think it's time for your final test.
The Skibidi Spider took me to an obstacle course and tossed over a strange broken upgrade. He told me that I needed to complete the course in order to obtain the missing piece from the upgrade. I agreed to their mission and set off to complete my test. I was forced to use both the climbing and balancing abilities I had trained in order to obtain the part. But after a lot of determination, I managed to complete the obstacle course and get the piece I needed. Now it's time to repair this thing. I put my new technological knowledge to use and repaired the upgrade all by myself. I had successfully completed my training.
Great work, Max. Now hold on to that upgrade and use it once you get home. You will know what to do at that moment.
Thank you for everything. Time to take back my home. I returned back to the base to find it crawling with speakermen. The Titan and his goons were destroying everything I had worked on. Looks like it's time to use this thing. I used my new upgrade and my body transformed. My porcelain shell became powerful armor and I sprouted 4 legs. I was now a spider Skibidi Toilet with 5 more hearts and a hacking device. What does this do? I tried out my new gadget on one of the speakers only to realize that I was now able to control them. Whoa, this is sick! In my new Speakerman body, I started taking out the other goons hit by hit. None of them realized I wasn't on their side anymore, so I was able to get quick and easy attacks on the enemy. Things were looking better, but even with the element of surprise, there were too many of them. I need to take them out faster. I released control of the Speakerman and set my sights on the Titan. It was the only way to take them out all at once. I aimed my device and tried to take over his body, only to be met with an error.
Error. Passcode required to pass security.
How do I get the passcode? I was running out of options and the speakerman spotted me and began to close in. Let's try this instead. On days 51 through 54, I unleashed my last-ditch effort. I used my hacking device to try and control multiple speakermen at once. Just before they were about to reach me, all of the speakers stopped in their tracks. My device had worked. Time for Plan B. Armed with my new forces, I charged with the speakerman army right back at the Titan himself. He was forced to flee from his own men.
Heed my words, Skibidi Toilet. I'll make you pay for what you did to my men.
Once the Titan was gone, the Commander Toilet approached me.
Thank you for helping me back there. I wanted to say sorry for judging you and your camera friend before. You saved a lot of lives.
Don't worry about it. Let's work together to win this war. Now that my base was reclaimed, I decided it was time for another expansion. I started by adding a room for the Commander Toilet. Now that we had a truce, he was more than welcome to stay at the base. Next, I made an area for all of the mind-controlled speakers to stay in. They were working for me now, so I figured I'd make them a comfy spot to call their own. Finally, I built a laboratory for us to experiment and create weaponry for our army. The facility was sprawling, and I knew one day it would be filled with impressive tech. With that, my expansion was complete. Just then, Cammy ran up to me with news.
I know how to get that passcode you need to take control of the Titan. Take this map.
So that passcode is here? Then there's no time to waste. On days 55 through 57, I followed the map until I arrived at a strange green pipe sticking out of the ground. Where does this go? Before I could look, an Italian plumber hopped out of it.
Mamma mia! A man has his head stuck in the toilet. Don't worry, I'm a plumber.
He took out his plunger and chased me around, trying to free me from the toilet. Little did he know that it was my body. Leave me alone! I just look like this! I hopped into the green pipe and the man followed after me. When I landed on the other side, I was in the middle of a video game level. I have to platform through this! I jumped from platform to platform as the Italian man chased me through the obstacle course. The game level took all kinds of twists and turns. I found myself jumping through pipes and over bridges. I even jumped through the clouds in the sky, but all the while the plumber chased close behind me. I couldn't let him catch up, or else I'd be done for. I kept jumping with all of my might until I was nearing the finish line. Finally, I made it to the end, completing the level. My feat was impressive enough that the man stopped trying to attack me.
Oh dear, sorry, I wasn't listening. Take this as an apology.
The man handed me the passcode I needed to hack into the Titan Speakerman. I better get back home and put this to use. On days 58 through 61, I returned to the green pipe to find the Titan Speakerman waiting for me with a number of large speakermen to back him up.
At last I found you. This time, you won't be so lucky.
The Titan readied his weapons, but little did he know I had a secret weapon now. I hacked into him once again and used the passcode to override his security. My vision changed, and I now had full control over the Titan Speakerman. Time for some fun! I used my new ally to blast a sonic boom attack into the Speakermen goons. They all took loads of damage in a single area. The might of a Titan was incredible. I tried out my arm cannon, blasting the ground to smithereens and leaving a trail of flames in my wake. The large speakermen were tough foes for me before, but now with the help of the Titan, I was taking them out with no problem. Their attacks couldn't penetrate my incredible armor. I wiped the floor with goon after goon. The speakermen were completely powerless to the strength of the Titan. I'm unstoppable! Just then, the Titan cameraman flew down from the sky ready to ruin my fun.
This ends now, Skibidi Toilet.
I readied myself for battle as the Titan cameraman rushed towards me. It was Titan v Titan, and the cameraman was my mightiest foe yet. But thanks to my control over the Speaker Titan, we were now on an even playing field. The cameraman fired his powerful laser at me, scorching the landscape around us in flames. It wasn't long until the entire battlefield was completely set on fire. Luckily, as the Speakerman Titan, I had resilient armor that shielded me from the flames. I retaliated with my own missile blast, but the cameraman would take to the sky to evade my attacks. To bring him back to my level, I fired my sonic boom to blast him from the sky. He was now forced to fight me head on, and the two of us unloaded our weaponry onto each other. It was anyone's game, and neither side was giving in. The cameraman was on his last legs and unleashed his most powerful attack yet. He fired a massive laser from his chest at me. It was insanely strong. It dealt loads of damage, but I held on. He continued to fire lasers from his chest, but they were taking a toll. Now was my chance. This fight was my toughest so far, but with one final barrage of missiles, I took down the Titan cameraman with only a few hearts remaining. I'm the mightiest Titan!
Are you sure about that?
Before I could celebrate, new reinforcements had arrived. A Titan TV appeared before me. I'll take you down too! I clashed with the TV Titan, but was immediately met with his crushing power. He was stronger than 10 Titan cameramen combined. The TV would smash his fist into me for loads of damage. The claws on his back sliced through my armor like butter. I was completely defenseless. I tried to retaliate with my missiles and sonic boom attack, but it seemed to have no effect on him. He shined a red light from his TV screen that powered him up even more. I tried my best to fight him off, but the Titan Speakerman was badly damaged from the battle with the camera. I was beginning to lose. I fought valiantly, but the Titan Speakerman was no match for the TV Titan's strength. Before he could land the final blow, I retreated with my damaged Titan.
You are no match for me. This war belongs to the TVs now.
On days 62 through 64, I took the Titan Speakerman into my lab to try and see if we could fix up the damages from battle.
I can fix him, but I need you to find some parts for me.
I agreed to scavenge for everything we would need and set off in search of them. I figured a good place to start would be in a parking lot, so I went by car to car to see what I could find. Luckily enough, I found 2 out of the 3 parts in the abandoned automobiles. Where's that last one? I kept looking, and instead of finding the 3rd part, I spotted a cameraman on the ground. Is he dead? I leaned in closer, when out of nowhere, a different cameraman jumped me.
Your feed was still live, fool. I've got you now.
I jumped into the battle and fought off the goon. I had to defeat him quickly if I didn't want more cameramen showing up. I used my laser eyes and flush ability to make quick work of him. Upon his death, he dropped the final part. I should never let my guard down. That was close. With the 3 parts in hand, I returned to Cammy so he could get to work. After handing off the pieces, the Commander Toilet had something important he wanted to tell me.
I found another base with more captives. Do you think you could retrieve them?
For sure! The commander gave me the coordinates and I set off on my next rescue mission. Little did I know, this would be my most difficult one yet. On days 65 through 68, I arrived at the super secret facility and began to scout it out. The place was crawling with TV men. I had never seen so many in one spot. What's with these guys? First cameras, then speakers, now TVs? They look tough. I knew getting spotted was a death sentence, so I took extra care stealthing around the facility. Finally, I found the room that held my brethren in cages. There, a large TV man was discussing his plans with his underlings.
How did the subject react to our newest weapon?
Unfortunately, it wasn't functional.
Unacceptable. Those toilets defeated the other two Titans. We have to eliminate them at all costs.
Yes, sir. We're not scared of you. Max will be here to save us soon.
Silence!
The large TV man screens flashed bright white and the Skibidi Toilet that spoke out died. No! I couldn't watch as the TV man killed my allies. I jumped out and revealed myself to the enemy. Leave them alone!
Well, would you look at that? Are you the Max I've heard so much about?
That's right, and I won't stand for your evil action any longer.
I've heard an awful lot about you and how you defeated the Titan Cameraman and took control of the Titan Speakerman. I'll just have to stop your little rebellion right here.
The large TV man charged at me and I prepared for battle. The TV shined his bright screens white, sending rays of electricity at me for massive damage. I didn't want any of the toilets to get hurt, so I lured the TV outside to have more room to fight. The two of us gave it everything we had. I zapped my enemy with my laser eyes and slashed him with my plunger. However, it seemed like no matter what I did, the TV kept attacking. He used his multiple screens to shine white light into my eyes, temporarily blinding me. While I was stunned, he'd zap me with his electric powers. I was falling victim to his combo of attacks, so I tried to use my flush ability. To my luck, it deflected his projectiles, giving me a chance to get in close. I fought with all of my might, but it seemed like no matter how much damage I dealt, the TV wouldn't budge. The large TV man was incredibly powerful. I was losing this fight, but I didn't want to leave my men behind. I kept fighting until I only had half a heart remaining. I could hear the trapped toilets begging me to retreat, and even if I didn't want to admit it, they were right. I had to find backup. With a heavy heart, I tried to escape.
Oh no you don't!
The TV man shined his white screens at me. I was blinded. Everything went black. On days 73 through 75, I woke up in a cage inside of a TV facility. I looked up to find the large TV man looming over me.
I'll go down in history as the one who won the war for the TVs. It's over for you.
I felt an overwhelming sense of guilt. I failed my mission, and now both me and my men would die. As I was about to accept my fate, the commander Skibidi Toilet blasted through the wall of the facility.
Don't give up. I'm here to help.
He charged in and set his sights on the large TV man. The two of them began to fight it out in an incredible battle. I wanted to help him, but my cage was still locked. The commander fired at the TV man with everything he had, sending blast after blast erupting down onto the battlefield. Not one to be bested, his screen-headed adversary fired back with attacks of his own. The TV man projected a flurry of electric sparks that cascaded around the arena. He also unleashed a beam of stars, confusing and blinding the commander. The commander recoiled, jostling himself left and right until finally the effects subsided and the battle continued. The longer the fight went on, the closer the commander got to death. I wasn't sure if he was gonna make it.
Max, save the others and take this. Cammy will know what to do with it.
The commander blasted open my cell and tossed over an upgrade data card, and I did as I was told. I freed the other toilets, but once I finished, it was too late. The commander was hit with one final blow, killing him once and for all. No! I couldn't let him die in vain. I took our forces and rushed back to the safety of the base. On days 76 through 79, I returned to my base with a heavy heart. We had saved our allies, but at the cost of the commander's life. I'll make the TVs pay for this! Everyone was a bit shaken up, so I decided to expand the base some more to calm down. I started by adding monumental pieces to the toilet base in honor of the commander's sacrifice, complete with armored plating and giant missiles. Next, I added an animal pen for some cows and pigs for any extra food that is needed for my toilet people. After my expansion was completed, I checked in on Cammy to ask him about the upgrade data card the commander had given me.
This is extremely rare. I could use this to make you a powerful upgrade, but it will take me a couple of weeks.
I don't mind waiting. Please use it to make the upgrade. How's the Titan holding up?
He's nearly done, but he's missing a radioactive core to use as an energy source. I think you could find one in the sewers.
Then I know what I'm looking for next. On days 80 through 83, I headed to the sewers in search of the radioactive core needed for the Titan. As I looked, I spotted a glowing orb in the distance. That must be it! I rushed to grab it, but I was suddenly ambushed by two Ninja Turtles.
Back off! That core is mine!
Then it looks like I'll have to fight you guys for it. The three of us clashed to see who would win the core prize. I tried to utilize my headbutt and plunger attacks, but it was no use. The turtles were agile, rolling out of the way of my close range abilities. I had no choice but to switch to my long range attacks. As the turtles attempted to dodge my blows from a distance, I emitted a beam of red light from my eyes, firing a massive laser beam at them. Not allowing them even a moment of respite to gain the upper hand, I shifted to my whirlwind flush attack. In An aerial cyclone flew forward towards the turtles, dealing tons of damage and temporarily incapacitating them as they got trapped in the circling wind. The battle was tough, but I bested the reptiles in combat.
You have defeated me. Very well, you may take the core.
I took my prize and headed back to the base with a radioactive core. When Cammy got it, he immediately started tinkering with the Titan.
And done. The repair is complete.
Time to avenge the captain! On days 84 through 86, armed with the Titan Speakerman, I returned to the large TV's facility. The TV emerged from the hole the commander had blasted and faced me.
You think your little toy is enough to stop me? Don't underestimate me.
You killed my commander and friend. I'll make you pay for this!
We'll see about that. I'll avenge the fallen Titan cameraman.
The two of us clashed in a battle for revenge. Aiming up at me, the TV man hit me with all the power he could muster. Sparks flickered all around me, but its electric jolt wasn't strong enough to stop me. Even a lightning bolt which came down from the sky and struck me wasn't enough to deter me. He switched his confused ray attack, firing a ray of stars towards me. Although I was temporarily discombobulated, I shook off the confusion quickly and fired back with an attack of my own. Using my massive blasters on my hands, I shot round after round down onto the TV man, igniting both him and the ground, cloaking the battlefield in a layer of flames. The fact that the TV man was putting up a fight against a Titan showed his strength. We went back and forth with each other, but I was beginning to get an edge. Unfortunately, he had other plans. The TV man stopped attacking the Titan and noticed my toilet body nearby and ran for that instead. Oh no, you don't! I returned to my original body and landed the surprise attack, taking the large TV man down once and for all. I did it! Upon his death, he dropped another upgrade, which I quickly grabbed for myself. I felt a new power surge through my body, and I gained 5 hearts as well as a new TV static ability. I keep getting stronger! Suddenly, the ground began to tremble. I looked behind me and to my horror discovered the Titan TV looming over me. On days 87 through 89, I was face to face with the TV Titan.
You may have defeated one of my head officers, but you will never get close to my power.
I'm getting stronger by the day. I'm gonna catch up to you in no time.
Skibidi Toilets always have such big mouths. I'll put you in your place.
I then resumed control over the Titan Speakerman right before the Titan TV man attacked me. I unleashed all of my might upon the Titan. A relentless barrage of missiles erupted from the cannon on my hand, causing earth-shattering explosions and sending shards of shrapnel hurtling through the air. Yet, the TV man remained unfazed. With his colossal razor-blade claws, he descended upon me, inflicting devastating damage. Determined to gain an edge, I swiftly led our battle to the rooftops. A surge of energy erupted from my chest, manifesting as a colossal beam of energy that stretched before me. But even that proved inadequate. As the Titan relentlessly assaulted me with his blades, desperation began to take hold. We plummeted back down to the road below, leaving me no choice but to unleash my sonic boom and bolts of lightning. However, the Titan's power proved insurmountable. In a retaliatory act, he unleashed a blinding flash from his red screen, instantly stunning me. The Titan TV was still far too powerful for me to defeat. My health was low, and the TV aimed to land the final attack.
Goodbye.
The TV man destroyed the Titan Speakerman, causing me to return to my body. The giant TV then aimed towards me and shined his red screen, causing me to black out. On days 90 through 92, I woke up inside of a strange dark void. Standing before me was none other than the Commander Toilet. Commander? Is that you? Am I dead?
Don't worry, Max. You are merely dreaming.
I'm so happy to see you! Please, tell me what to do! Even with the power of another Titan, I can't defeat the Titan TV!
A strong leader adapts to the changes on the battlefield. You have grown more powerful but failed to see that. Approach the battle with the TV Titan differently, and you will discover the truth.
I don't understand.
You will in due time. Good luck. Win this war for all the Skibidi Toilet kind.
On days 93 through 95, I woke up to find myself in a strange underground facility. How did I get here? I thought surely I was killed from the TV man's blast. Regardless, I couldn't let the commander down. I had to figure out a way to defeat the TV Titan. I decided to check out my surroundings when I noticed a top secret room, but it was being guarded by a TV. I can't just walk in. Mind control powers, go! I took control of one of the TV patrolmen and walked up to the guard. I figured I could smooth talk my way in with a disguise. Hello, good sir. I like your, suit.
Thanks. Today is a special occasion.
Oh, really? What day is it again?
Terry, you don't remember? Today's my birthday. How could you forget?
No, I didn't. Follow me. I have a surprise for you. I lured the naive guard towards my real body and ambushed him when he least expected it. It only took a few moments before I was able to knock him out cold. Let's see what's in that room. On days 96 through 98, I entered the top secret area where the TV Titan was scheming with one of his goons. Inside of the room was a massive super weapon unlike anything I had ever seen before. That doesn't look good.
Preparations are nearly completed.
Excellent. Soon I'll be able to wipe this world of those horrible toilets and their annoying song. On day 100, I'll unleash my weapon and destroy all remaining life. The TVs will win the war.
Sir, what if the toilets discover your weakness first?
Nonsense. They would never. They're not smart enough to aim for the core on my chest.
His chest is his weakness? Maybe that's what I needed to know all along. With my new intel, I quickly rushed back to the base to make the final preparations. I had to get ready to take out the Titan before he could deploy the super weapon. On day 99, I returned home and called a meeting with my army. Everyone gathered around outside the base to listen to my speech. Skibidi Toilets! In a day, the TV Titan will unleash a powerful weapon onto us. Things may feel helpless, but I have the solution. I now know the TV Titan's weak point. Before he's able to use his weapon, I will fire my own attack and take him out. With the Titan TV gone, nothing will be able to stop us. Let's win this war for our fallen allies and our commander! As I finished my speech, Cammy rushed over to me with the new upgrade. I used it and my body transformed. I grew bigger in size, gained heavier armor, more hearts, and missiles. I was now a mecha Skibidi Toilet. My men all rejoiced together and we sang in harmony. It was time to win this war. On day 100, I arrived at the launch site of the super weapon to find the Titan TV preparing his attack. Stop right there!
Oh my, it looks like you've gotten an upgrade since our last encounter.
That's right! I'll give you the chance to surrender now.
Why would I do that? My weapon will soon end this war. Winning it for the TVs. You think those little fireworks strapped to your sides can stop me?
There's one way to find out. You're not using that weapon. I readied myself for battle, and the two of us clashed in the fight that would decide the war. Widening my eyes, lasers shot out of my pupils, propelling forward and making a direct hit with the Titan. But my barrage didn't end there. I began bombarding the giant with my missiles. They detonated upon impact, sending the foe stumbling back. After taking a moment to regain his composure, the Titan shambled forward, slamming down his fists in a mighty downward strike. To avoid his specialty of close-range attacks, I moved back and sent forward a flurry of sparks. Bolts of electricity struck down on him from above and a roar of thunder echoed across the battlefield. But that wasn't all I had. Finally, I begun spinning around rapidly, creating a vortex of wind around me and charging into the Titan in a massive whirlwind. The TV Titan was powerful, but I still had my secret weapon up my sleeve. I aimed my missiles and my laser eyes for his chest and unleashed one final attack as I sang out the Skibidi Toilet tune.
Skibidi bop bop yeah, skibidi bop bop yeah yeah.
The missiles exploded onto the Titan TV man and he was unable to take the hit. He died, winning the war for the Skibidi Toilets! Skibidi, skibidi, skibidi!